The Iraqi journalist who threw his shoes at President Bush during a news conference in Baghdad was hauled before a judge last night in Iraq. A source at the Iraqi Central Criminal Court told CNN that the man will likely be charged with assaulting a foreign head of state. According to Wire reports, Iraqi law says he could face 7 years in prison. And whether you agree with the war in Iraq or not, it probably saved this man's life. If he'd thrown those shoes while Saddam was in power, he probably would have been executed on the spot. Instead, he was arrested, put in jail. Thousands of Iraqis are calling him a hero and are rallying for his release. When asked by CNN's Candy Crowley yesterday what should happen to the man, President Bush said the authorities should not overreact. He called the incident an interesting form of expression. He added it's part of the free society emerging in Iraq. The man will stand trial, perhaps as early as next week, and reportedly be represented by a lawyer who said that he's going to file a request to have his client released on bail. So here's the question. What's the appropriate punishment for the man who threw his shoes at President Bush? Go to cnn.com/Cafferty file. You can post a comment on my blog. Wolf.
Lots of strong opinions on this one, Jack. Get ready. Thank you. Jack.
Question this hour is, what's the appropriate punishment for that guy who threw his shoes at President Bush? David says if he has any musical talent, he ought to be signed as the opening act for the Dixie Chicks. Tricia says regardless of how you feel about the President of the United States, when he's outside the country, he's representing us. You're allowed to disagree with our policies. You're not allowed to disrespect a representative of our country. And as such, he ought to face jail time for what he did. Earl in Woodstock, Vermont, chop off his feet and have them bronzed for Bush. Charles in Lansing, Michigan, sainthood isn't good enough. Nancy, also Michigan. What would happen to a shoe thrower in this country? He ought to be punished. It bothers me more he was able to throw 2 shoes. Where was the Secret Service? All they did was hit Dana Perino in the eye with a microphone. STR writes, I think he ought to be free on bail and perhaps have to do community service speaking to journalism students about how to control urges to do stupid things. And Paula writes from New Mexico, he ought to receive the highest decorations of the sovereign nation of Iraq. Have a statue erected in his honor. A broad and well-traveled boulevard should be named for him, as well as the premier hospital facility in Baghdad. A school or 2 should bear his name, and his likeness should adorn the Iraqi postage stamps. He is a man of courage. If you didn't see your email here, you can go to my blog at cnn.com/Cafferty file. Look for yours there among hundreds of others. We got a lot of email today.
And check out this, your home state of Nevada, Jack. Snow. It's snowing in Las Vegas, of all places. Look at this.
Wow.
I think they've closed the airport. Does it ever snow in Vegas?
Not much in Vegas. Snows a lot up in Reno, on the northern end of the state, but it's unusual to see snow like that in Las Vegas. It's different.
Maybe no global warming after all. We'll see.
Not there, not now.
Not in Vegas today. All right, Jack. See you tomorrow. Thanks very much. It's a